Reeve DVM is here with a review of our new bread maker. So just to show you what we had been using, that is our old Oster bread maker, and now it had been a good bread maker for many years. We've had it 15 years. It's made a lot of loaves for us, but as you can see here, we get a little closer, you can see there's some kind of browning around all the vents and just burning from all the loaves that it's been through. It's just gotten crusties in it, and it's just hard to clean. And it was time to get a new bread maker. So after looking at a lot of different bread makers on the market, we decided to go with one that would make a bigger loaf because of our growing family here. And we make all of our own bread now, so we really needed something that was heavy duty and could really stand up to making a loaf of bread every other day for us. So we found the Breville here, and it is, as you can see by the box, a bit longer. So the neat thing about this is that the bread pan is not a ton longer, but a little bit longer than the bread pan in that old Oster. So it will make a longer loaf, a little bit more like your store-bought loaf, so it'll fit a little bit better in the bread the toaster when we toast it. So you can see it coming out here. It is stainless steel, so it looks really nice sitting out on the counter. Very elegant there. And it has a lot of neat features that the Oster did not have. So besides that it has a longer loaf pan to make a longer loaf, it also has a larger pan, so that while the Oster could make a 2-pound loaf, this one will make a 3-pound loaf also. So we're still going to start off with our regular 2-pound loaf just to see how it goes with the exact same recipe we used to use in our old bread maker. One of the neat features on this is that the plug almost has a handle on the actual plug itself, so it's very easy to plug and unplug. Since there isn't an off switch, you have to unplug it to turn it off. So it's a very nice plug to get in and out. That's been really nice. The little door here on top is the automatic fruit and nut dispenser. So if you want to make a cinnamon raisin bread, you don't have to come back when it starts beeping at you and add the raisins. It will do that for you, which is really nice because I have a tendency to walk away from my bread maker once I start it. And as you can see, the lid does come off, so it makes for a lot easier cleaning when you do get stuff inside of the cooking area there. It comes with 2 different paddles because this new bread maker will also make jam. So it has a paddle similar to the old Oster that they use for making jam in our new bread maker. But it also has a paddle just for bread that actually folds down so it stays at the bottom of your bread, and when you pop the bread out, then the paddle does not go with it. And as you can see here, as we hold them up side by side, it's not a huge amount longer, but it's long enough that it makes a nicer loaf to fit in the toaster. And then it's just got the area that the pan slides right into to lock it in. There isn't any magic clicking or anything. It just fits right in. It's very easy to put in there. We'll put in the bread paddle because we're going to make a loaf of bread here. Not ready for jam yet. We don't quite have the fruits from our garden ready, so we're going to make a loaf of bread. Put the lid back on. It does have a neat feature too. It has a light. So if you want to see what your bread looks like in there, you don't want to open the lid and let all the warm air escape, but you can push the light and actually see how your bread is doing. We use that feature pretty much every loaf just to check on it when we come back and walk by. So now we're going to finish peeling off all the stickers and such that came with it, and we'll make a loaf of bread. This is supposed to be a heavier duty machine. It's supposed to really do a good job kneading the bread, which we're looking forward to. So you want to add all of your liquid things first to the bread machine. So here's our water. It's a 1.5 cups of water, And it's about at 80 degrees, which is ideal temperature for the yeast to develop and rise. Next, we add our olive oil. We're going to add 1/3 cup of olive oil. And the secret to this is that always do your oil before your next ingredient, which is your honey. It really helps the honey just slide right out of your measuring cup. So then we added the oil. We're going to add our honey. We use raw honey because we do like that it's not filtered or changed anyway. But of course we don't give it to our young children. But once you cook it, it's safe for everyone. So here's our 1/3 cup of honey. And as you can see, it really does just slide right out of the measuring cup. No scraping involved. Next we have salt. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of salt. After the salt, we're going to put the flour in. So the kind of yeast that we're using is a specific bread machine yeast, and it needs to be on top of the flour. So we need to add the flour. So we have 4.5 cups of whole wheat bread flour, and as you know, we do grind this all ourselves. And you can see I don't actually scrape all of my measuring cups flat with a knife or anything. This is how I've been doing it for years, and so I wanted to make sure I made this loaf the same way as I did in the other ones, just to be fair. So then lastly, we add the yeast right on top of that flour so it doesn't hit the water until it starts mixing, since that's the way the yeast is made to work. Press start. I've already set it up. It has a lot of options for different types of bread and different types of crust if you want a darker or lighter crust, and how big you want your bread to be, how big your bread is, so it can adjust the cooking accordingly. So for our loaf, it takes 3 hours, and it is still quite warm when it comes out. So I always use my oven mitts, but it just slides right out of the pan. Unfortunately, it does like to get hooked on the handle, but that's alright. Now we've got our beautiful loaf. You can see it's a bit longer, and as you can see, the paddle is still within the pan, which is really nice. So you don't, the other machine, it would stay in there, and you might accidentally cut it if you forget to take it out before you start cutting your bread. So I really like that the paddle stays in the bread pan itself. And that's our new loaf. It tasted delicious, actually even better than the other machine. Thanks for watching. Please support us to keep these videos going.